So Pulsechain has higher throughput, better security, lower environmental impact to the point of nearly none, is a newer coin with more features, is faster than Bitcoin. But Bitcoin has an $800 billion market cap. Pulsechain doesn't. Why? Well, we're new. We're on the way, right? Things will get better, in my opinion. So like, oh, and for you listening, is that a forward-looking price statement? Nope, not a forward-looking price statement, not financial advice. So we've got a wonderful network. We've got wonderful features. We've got wonderful airdrop. There's, you can do lending on the Pulsechain network. There's projects that let you borrow coins. There's projects that there's stable coins on Pulsechain. There's all types of stuff people have launched on Pulsechain. Guys, the network is good. Works great. Oh, and the bridge is free too. Somebody set the bridge to 0 fee so that using the bridge has no fee, both directions. So if you go to bridge.pulsechain.com, there's no fees currently. In, out, either way, no fees. Now you're going to pay a fee on the Ethereum network. Nothing you can do about that. That's Ethereum's side, right? So you got a great network and you got a ton of free coins and it's worked flawlessly for 7 months. Go make it great, guys. Launch stuff on it, use it, build fiat on-ramps, make a money transmitter in your state, make a licensed money transmitter in your state, and you can, make the community better. Like,
Hey everybody, and welcome to another day on Pulsechain. We're going to be talking about dollar cost averaging, of course, and passive income. I did promise to talk about that yesterday, so that's kind of cool. We're going to get into it. We're also going to look at what else? Everything. We're going to look at everything. It's going to be good. It's going to be a good show. We're going to be looking at the Hocus Pocus wizard in this as well. So that might be a useful tool for many of you that are trying to get high yields on Pulsechain. So we're going to check that out. And I'm drinking this old-fashioned lemonade from Schweppes. So let me know if you have that in your country, because it's not bad, not a bad little drink. All right, let's get into it. We've got Lies Beneath in the house there. How are you today? Pretty good. The voice is sounding pretty good now. That's great. That looks like probably pretty much back to 100%. So that's wonderful. Hex Pulsex incentive for the win, 100% there, Lies Beneath. Very cool. And who else we got in the house here? We got Sandy Beach. Hello, Hex Token, everybody. Big shout out, Sandy. Sandy's back onto X now, doing the health and fitness updates last couple of days. So good to see that one, Sandy. Keep up the great work. Don't forget to give Sandy a follow and share her account out there. She's doing a great job online. All right, let's get into it. We've got lots to talk about. So let's go to the stock market. So the stock market at the moment, yesterday, remember we had a big rally on the interest rate relief expected in September. But here today, we've got the stock market pulling back down again, the typical volatile now. S&P 500 slumps as weak economic data rattles stock markets. And we got the Dow Jones at the moment down 1.2%, so pretty big move, really. 495 points, amazing those number of points. I mean, if you remember back like 1987 or something like that, that would have been absolute wrecked, right? That would be like, I don't know, what's that? Be 10% of the market or something. It would be massive. 15%. It would be crazy. We've got S&P 500 down 1.37%, 75 points, down to 5,446. The NASDAQ down a whopping 2.29%, 403 points, man, down to 17,195. So quite a big move down there. US dollar is up slightly there to 104.2 on the index versus trading partners. Looking at the commodities, let's go. We got West Texas is up again, 0.5%, 40 cents to $76.70. Brent oil is down 0.25%. They're 20 cents to just below $80 basically, or $79.90. And we got gold at the moment up 1/3%, $8.30 to $2,489. So it's just hovering just below that $2,500 mark. And we got silver there up 0.5% almost at 13 cents at $28.60. So that's kind of where the commodities are at the moment. And of course, we're expecting silver to do a bit of a run, just like we are with crypto, in the fourth quarter and probably into 2025. Now, we did have that weaker US economic data. That's what sort of sparked this. So initial jobless claims increased to 249,000 for the week ended in July 27, higher than expected, while the ISM manufacturing index for July came in at 46.8, below the 48.2 forecast. The 16-month streak of sub-50 readings that extended from November 2022 through to March 2024 was the longest streak of contraction that August. So anything under 50 is contraction, right? So and everything over 50 is expansion. Noticeably exceeding the decline surrounding the great financial crisis, says Jeffries. The duo of reports added to concerns about the economic downturn, even as the Fed Reserve expected lower interest rates next month. So you're talking about September. The 10-year Treasury yield fell below 4% for the first time since February, as jitters about hard landing resurface. So remember, the Fed's talking about soft landing. Here they're trying to, maybe get a bit too alarmist about a hard landing. The Fed on Wednesday kept the rates unchanged, but Jerome Powell signaled September rate cuts was on the table should upcoming economic data, including the monthly payroll due Friday, continue to show progress towards cooling inflation. So this should play into that. So we shall see. It should play into that trading off employment for inflation. That's kind of the idea. All right, let's jump over to the stock market. Sorry, crypto market. So crypto at the moment, Bitcoin up 1.13%. Yay! So that's at $65,449. So that's good news. Ethereum at the moment, 3,200, down 1%, but it stopped the big bleeding, right? It was bleeding like 44.5% yesterday. So that seems to have slowed down, and Bitcoin seems to be turning around here, or at least consolidating. BNB is pretty much flat at 576. Solana is down 2.6%, XRP down 4.75%, Tron down, Litecoin down, both of them 0.5%, 1% respectively. Those are kind of the leaders there, and ADA managing to be up 1% there at 39.3 cents there. Now, I'm not sure whether we've had much news around the Chang fork for ADA. Let me know in the chat there if you've heard anything about that. I haven't checked it recently, but that seems to be delayed. So yeah, unless there's some good news around that. That is where we are at the moment on the general cryptos, and it looks like we've stopped the bleeding out, which is cool. Looking at Bitcoin on the chart here on Coinbase, this is our candle we had yesterday. Look how dramatic it was. Went all the way down to 62,212. But the good news is that it closed above the 50-day moving average. That's a very, very, very good news at the moment. So that's kind of bullish. And we're quite a while above it now. And of course, the 50-day moving average is sitting at 64,366. We're currently, the price is 65,327. And yeah, really, really good news. Now, that horizontal line also was where we wanted to hold support, right? At 63,500. And we have managed to do that. So we've held the 50 and the horizontal support. And even though we pierced through it, we closed above it. That's the key stuff there. So good news so far. So Bitcoin continuing its ride in the right direction. So that's pretty much it. And of course, you guys know we've got interest rates coming up 18th September. That's probably going to look pretty good for that. And then, of course, US election 5th of November. And don't forget, in between that, of course, we've got October, which is where typically the crypto really starts to rally. And so we could have a really wonderful fourth quarter for crypto. That's kind of where we are at the moment. So a chance to pick up the dips on the way to glory. We got Bitcoin meme coins for the first season. And of course, they're early days. So the Runes protocol launched at the Bitcoin halving. And we've got obviously picking dog to go to the moon to be the number one meme coin on Bitcoin. Already it is, but we're expecting it to potentially dominate all meme coins. It will require tier one exchanges to do that. But on DEXs, the volume's definitely going up on the DEXs. And yeah, so we've got Magic Eden DEX, Unisat DEX, and there's many others out there which are trading. And but we do have tier ones, we have pretty big exchanges like Gateway and others there trading, but we need all those tier ones. So that's kind of where we are at the moment. The price sitting at about 4.8 sats, down 2.8% at the moment. Market cap at 314 million, but that's the one we're picking for the win. Expecting some big X's on that, big X's. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at the moment. We've got Ryzik and memes, all the others all in the list there. Now Lobo is down at 13, but earlier in the day that was at number 10. So we're having some really big repositions amongst these Rune meme coins and utility coins. So they're ticking away there. There's nothing really standing out there at the moment. All right. The other thing is that NFT collections on the ordinals on Bitcoin runes are also, pretty dynamic. I think we're seeing some cool stuff here. Lots of changes in the top 10. We've got Fragana at number 1 there based on volume, 24-hour volume there. Node Monks has been up there for a while. Bored Ape, Yacht Club Course, Crypto Punks. So we've got lots of different ones in the top 10 there. Yeah, SMB Gen 2, new, relatively new. Redacted Babies are relatively new. So we've got a real mix there. Azuki, Milady Maker, lots of changes in the top 10. So it is, maybe one could argue quite volatile, but we have lots of new entrances coming into the top 10. That's probably good for, creation and growth. That's kind of where we are there on magiceden.io. So if you haven't checked out Magic Eden, you can, as number 1 DEX there at the moment for runes and ordinals, BRC20s. Unisat's another big one, but there are others out there too. That is the link to that if you want to check that out. Now, we talk more about this in Strategy Club. So the link to join Strategy Club is in the video description, $35 a month to join up to that. Check that out. In fact, I have an alert going out today on that channel. All right, what else? Let's jump in. We've got a couple more comments before we move on into Ethereum. Let's see here. We got Bitfinex says, we have Schweppes ginger ale in America, but it's made with water treated with atrazine, the endocrine disrupting chemical that feminizes DNA. Oh, that sounds bad. It tastes good though. And so I guess it's fine if you're a female, but yeah. We got good evening, Miss Sandy Beach. Yeah, big shout out, Sandy. Happy Friday all, says Andrew. Hey, happy Friday to you, Andrew. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, it is Friday down under, and we're in New Zealand, broadcasting from New Zealand, of course, in the future. And it is Friday here in Australia as well, Pacific Islands. What else there? Andrew says it's going to be a green candle pump this weekend. I can feel it. I think you're right there, Andrew. I think you're really right. We've been calling it in the charts. Definitely the charts are holding up pretty well on Pulsechain. So we're going to talk about that. Wookie was late. It was a great morning for the spa. Wookie is in a cold place in the bottom of South Island, and spas are pretty handy there. So keep yourself warm there, Wookie. We've got Crypto Fury in the house there. Big shout out to the syndicate on Mafia. Crypto Fury is a valued member. Big shout out. Hello. And Sandy says, I love spa days. I have them often, says Sandy. Living the dream. There's the old Sandy there. Kind of cool. All right. Nice. Let's get into it. Let's move on to Ethereum. Ethereum at the moment is at 3,210, the 50-day, sitting at 3,333. And we're sitting right, just in the bottom half there. We're just above the 200-day at 3,134. So Ethereum there, still looking okay at the moment. I think the Ethereum ETFs have been doing pretty well. So I really think we're going to get a lot of that money continue to float into demand here. The fourth quarter of this year has got to be absolutely golden. It could be when we're expecting those super days where we just get double-digit gains every day. So that's coming up for the market. That is coming up. Should be good. All right, let's jump over to top memes. So the meme coins, of course, a big check. They're a leverage play on Ethereum, Bitcoin, and Solana, and everything else based. Big leverage play, and of course they go up and down relative to those underlying assets. And at the moment, we can see that even Dodge, number 1 meme coin, $17.3 billion, is down 6% for the week, down 2.5% for the 24 hours. They actually holding up relatively well. The top 2, SHIB and Dodge, a lot less movement than the ones that are underneath that ranked lower. We got Pepe at the moment down 8.8%. Dog with Hat down 23% for the week. So a pretty big move, down 10% for the 24 hours. A lot of that is in the last 24 hours. But we do have a bit of light there. Bonk's down 8.5%. Floki down 10.5%. Brett is actually not too bad on the base chain. That's only is actually up 1%, and it's despite being down 1.6% in the last 24 hours. So you can just see the kind of movement that's happening in the meme coin space. We've got Popcat there, down 12% for the week, but up 10% today. So a bit of a recovery there for Popcat on Solana. Boom, which has been a big mover this week, up 18%. It's going to be one of the standout performers, is down 4.5% at the moment on 24 hours. Mogcoin pretty flat there. That has also been doing pretty well yesterday, but it seems to have chilled out there, down 13% for the 24 hours. You got Mewcat there, down 18% for the week. Meme down at 10%. Punky has moved up, right? So it's up down 12%, but it's actually moved up. And Turbo as well, down 7%. Now, that leads us to Dog. So Dog was in the top 10. It's now sitting at like number 15 or something. That's down 22% for the week. So a really good entry for Dog on Bitcoin right now, which is on the Runes protocol. And that is up slightly here, it says here on the 24 hours. So making a bit of recovery. May very well be the bottom. I think we saw the bottom at 2,900 for a penny. We're now back at 3,100 for a penny. And yeah, I think it's looking very, very good for that move back up. So a very good entry at the moment for Dog, in my opinion. All right, that can lead us into Pulsechain, which we're going to talk about dollar cost averaging and passive income. Before we do that, though, let's see who else has jumped in the chat here. We'll have another swig of this old Schweppes lemonade. That's some Mighty Fines lemonade. All right, maybe I could sell it on a table at the front of the house. I don't know. What else there? Let's go silver, says Wookie. Yeah, silver is going to be good, man. Silver and crypto. It's the ones the back. Going to do pretty well, I reckon. All right, so let's get into it. We got day 447 on Pulsechain. Bam. Should I change my view? Which my other view have I got? I got this view. Let's have a look. That's the one view. No, it's too far down. I got that view. There we are. That's the kind of standard view people use. And I typically like that view. So we'll just keep there. That's kind of where I sit. We got Pulse at the moment on day 447. These are the results. Is at 000443 down almost 0.8%, sitting at 44% of the mean sacrifice price. Remember, we got up to what over 50%, so just a couple of weeks back on that big rally. Pulsex at the moment 000251 down 0.6%, sitting at 25% of the mean sacrifice price. So we're sort of been stuck around this level for some time. And of course, we've got the buy and burn there sitting at 934.5 billion. Pulsex has been bought up and burned 4.62%. I say it again, 4.62% of the public supply has been bought up and burned. Incentive token at the moment is actually up 0.7%. So yay to incentive token. Man, it's been a beastie boy, hasn't it? And of course, we're going to be talking about the passive income and yield farming on Pulsechain. I've got a poll up at the moment, so definitely hit that poll if you're there. Are you yield farming on Pulsechain farms, Pulsex, 9-inch, 9mm, or SparkSwap? They're the four main ones. There are others, but those are the four main ones. So get in on that poll. We've got 8 votes so far. Yeah, so incentive token there, $2.57. The ratio, though, 58,000 Pulse to one incentive token, doing extremely well. And that is 38.4 million incentive tokens in existence from the Pulsex V1 farms. We got Hex at the moment, has been the poor cousin, but not too bad today. Is up 7, almost, actually it's up slightly more than incentive token, over 0.7 of a penny, and is at 5,500th of a penny there. eHex at the moment, 1,200th of a penny. That's kind of reached a low overnight, so we're going to look at that in the chart. The combined price of eHex and PX is sitting at 6,700th of a penny. I don't know. I think this is kind of the last moment, the last zone to pick up Hex before it's really going to eventually break out to the upside. We're going to watch for that. The only thing we're going to say that's hanging over the Pulsechain at the moment is that, well, at least the first thing is the dismissal case, which is Richard Hart's reply is coming out this month. So we'll talk about that when we get the Hex. Right, so that's day 447, and INC and Hex are the ones that are winning there today, relative to Pulse and Pulsex. Let's get to the charts though. So I've changed the view of the chart. So we're going to look at 4-hourly charts, the trader's view, and you can see that the RSI is pretty chill down at 42. And remember, this if it's over 70 on the RSI, it's overbought. If it's below 30, it's oversold. So that's kind of the range there. If it's in the 50 mark, it's kind of pretty much in the middle there, neutral zone, and means that, you know, the lower it is, the more chance of upside, right? So the more chance the price can go up and to the right. So that's kind of where we're heading there. I was going to sneeze for a moment. We've got the price there just below the moving average too, 204-hour moving average. So let's see if we can get above that. Obviously on the 4-hour, you can see this downtrend. We have had a nice big green candle in the last 4-hour period, which has helped push us back up here. We bounced off 40, just below 4,300 to over 4,400. So that is kind of cool on Pulse. Moving to the daily. So that just shows we've got plenty of room on the RSI for a move up. The daily there, we have pulled back a lot of this gain that we had a couple of weeks back. And the RSI has cooled off to 43. So we've got plenty of room to move for a move higher. We haven't managed to get a green candle out of this candle yet, so that is an issue. We did bounce off that low yesterday, you know, the low there at 40, what did I say, 300 was it? 42.49 was the low there. So fingers crossed we can pull out a bit of a green candle today and get this moving back onto the upside. So that's kind of where we are on the date. Let's go get the RSI, the Fibonacci, and put that on there. So we have pulled back down. We have breached the 48. We've actually come down to the 61.8. Can you believe it? So many times does it come down to 61.8. Obviously, the higher it bounces off, the more bullish the chart. But 61.8, pretty normal stuff for it to retrace back there. And it's done it again. So go figure, just keeps doing it. So that is the point there. So pretty much looks like all things equal. You know, if we get a bit of a rally that we may have hit the bottom, we may very well have that green weekend in store. But that being said, it's still got room to move down. So let's hold our breath there. But the 61.8, pretty good positive indicator there that we have pretty much at the bottom, and we should hopefully get some green candles moving on into the weekend. Sunday's typically a low day though, so you know, fingers crossed. We'll see. It's a bit of a 50-50 to some degree, and even with that indicator being hit. Let's go to the weekly. The weekly at the moment, that is your weekly chart on Pulse. It has been the weakest chart out of all of them. So it has been a cool place to pick up and accumulate. That's pretty much that at the moment. And we do have support on horizontal at 4,000. So if we do decide to go down, I think 4,000 is probably the mark that we would hit on the bearish scenario. But fingers crossed that 61.8 is indicating an upside with the RSI. So let's see where we go. Pulsechain has typically been the better play. We had a nice little bump here in the 4 hourlies as well. RSI pretty chill too at 46. Let's go to the daily. Daily there we had our positive bullish cross here with that big rally, and it's actually stayed up pretty well. So Pulse is kind of looking like the poorer cousin, but Pulsechain has been performing pretty well, as we can see in the chart, and we're almost cooled off quite nicely, almost back to neutral at 53. So you know, good chance for a move higher here on the daily. Looking at the weekly tells us all. Yeah, look at that uptrend on the yellow, supported that very well, and you know, maybe in a couple of weeks, maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, we might get a bullish cross here on the moving averages 13 over 34. So and then game on, right? Big game on. So we keep looking out for that. So Pulsechain's definitely looking stronger. We've got very clear higher lows and all the rest of it. And yeah, I think I kind of see the Richard Hart event on the 22nd of August with their Dream Team lawyers doing a reply for the dismissal against the ECC. I see that as a bullish move for this month, and then maybe some uncertainty around the oral arguments and hearing in October. That being said, but of course, our insurance policy, if Trump wins the election, then you know, maybe January, February, even if we lose the dismissal, which I think we've got a good chance there, but if we do lose it, then at least we've got that insurance policy that changed the leadership in the SEC, and potentially a lot of the cases get dropped. That'd be kind of cool outcome. All right, let's go. Let's go there, and let's jump over to Pulsechain. Now, we're talking about dollar cost averaging. Obviously, we're in a beautiful range at the moment amongst those charts, Pulsechain, for accumulating. So it's a good place to accumulate and dollar cost average there because such a good low time in the chart. And we're also talking about the passive income, right? Passive income on Pulsechain has been really, really good. We can see here Pulse at the moment 13.2% APR. And if you look at the other Richard Hart combinations, we've got Hex Pulse at 27%. We've got INC Pulse at 35% and INC Pulsechain at 28%. So they have been really, really good returns, just ticking away there. And you can see the incentive chart, which we're going to look at in a moment, has been performing like a boss, right? That's what you earn in these farms. Now, this is on a V1. You can clearly see they're all labeled V1. Remember, there is V1 and V2 pools. V2 pools don't have the farming rewards, and particularly for these particular combinations of cryptos. Now, with the other ones here, the DAI, USDC, Wrapped ETH, and USD Tether, they're extremely good, right? Extremely good. They're all matched with Pulse. And you can see the stable coins are at 73%, 72%, 74%. So awesome passive income. Now, the only thing with these is if the price of Pulse decides to break out to the upside finally, even a little bit, you will face impermanent loss if you're in these pools. So you earn a very good APR, but you'll end up with less Pulse in your combination, right? So if you're new to yield farming, that will happen. There's some permanent loss there. And so you'll miss out on the big capital gain associated to the rise in the pulse price when it eventually does go back up to the right. But assuming it just has done what it's done so far, you've been making a very good APR without too much of losing too much of your pulse. So it's been very good. In fact, with the price of pulse coming down, you would make way more pulse. And what often people do is they will say, hey, the bottom of the chart is in, and they'll exit the position and take all the pulse that they made, and including their earnings. And then they'll, when the price of pulse rises, they'll make massive capital gain that they would not have otherwise made unless they had, of course, used that capital to purchase more, pulse. So it's just a basic play there. All right, so the passive income looking very, very good. Now, if you had a particular part of your portfolio that you didn't really care too much about the capital opportunity and pulse, you just wanted to earn a good income as part of your position, and you just keep earning that as an income position, and these are very, very good for earning. I mean, up to 72%, fantastic returns, and they've been just ticking over non-stop. So pretty cool. That's on the old Pulsex V. You can go to farms here on Pulsex and pick that up. So pretty cool. Now, I think we've got the links in the video description to Pulsex. You can check that out. Now, another good place where it has a lot of the farms with all the yields. So you may say, well, how are other farmings? Pulsex is great. What are other farms looking like? Well, on Pulsechain, well, you can check them here on Hocus Pocus Farms, which is pretty cool. In fact, I'll post the link to this in the chat there if you guys want to check it out. You need to do a bit of study, of course. Just to make sure that you know what you're looking at. But that is the link there, hocuspocus.finance farms. This is a great little site. The cool thing about it is that you say, well, how can compare APRs or annual percent of returns on each of these farms? What's the TVL on farms and things like that? Well, on here, you can actually see that you got Pulsex farms are in here. They got them in here. They got lots of details about how much of the incentive emission is getting allocated to these farms. A 40x, for example, for DAI Pulse, only a 10x for incentive tokens emissions allocated to Hex Pulse, and we saw those APRs were much lower. 13% versus 73% here. Also has the daily as well. Has the total liquidity in these pairs. So it's pretty cool. Now they have obviously Pulsex, but they also got lots of other farms that your LP providers that you can go to. You got Rentamania in here. I haven't really been familiar with any of these, Orange Grove or anything like that, but they've certainly got one well-known ones that we know, 9-inch farms, for example, down here, and they've got all the yields. Over here, of course, they have a different incentive token. They have INC, they have BBC token for 9-inch farms. So got that there. Also has the allocation that they get. It's got the APR, the daily APR, daily return there, and liquidity and things like that. So it's pretty cool little site, right? So you can definitely look through that. So it's got all these different farms. Daytona is in there. You can see that Daytona provisions in there. You can go and provide liquidity and farm over there. They earn the Tony emissions. They've got Tony token for Daytona. I'm not sure how much volume is actually still on Daytona, but you'd have to check that out. And so on. Spark Swap's there, right? Spark Swap, we've got that on our list at the moment. So Spark Swap is there. So lots of different farms over here at the moment. Now you have to be careful which one you go on to. They've got Postolorian on here as well. So that's here. So lots of different farming providers. But you must, each platform's not as safe as each other platform, and liquidity, etc. So you do need to take some, common sense checks and balances on some of these. But that is a pretty wonderful place. Now, if you're just looking for, what is the best APR across a lot of these farms, well, you can just hit the APR wizard, and you can find out, and you can actually search it with the ranking here, show you what's the best, what's the worst, and it will give you some idea of what those APRs are. It's pretty cool. You can also look at the total value locked in there, and it will tell you those as well. And, I guess you can filter here with that, and you can check it out. So just make some common checks there. I presume that these are working fairly well. It's also got a couple other different folders there that you can check out as well. You just need to do some checks and balances on these. But that is a pretty cool little tool, particularly APR and the TVL one. You can check that out. All right, so hopefully that helps if you're looking for passive income. Good place to help you make decisions there. And of course, you don't have to directly use their deposit. If you want to deposit through them, you can use, go directly to the platform. So it's up to you what you want to do there. All right, so that is that. Let's have a look at incentive token at the moment. Incentive token is looking pretty good. Yeah, 57,744. So looking really nice here on the daily, on the incentive token. Let's have a look at the weekly. We can see the weekly here is still near the top of the zone for the last 3 weeks. looking very, very good, and plenty of room in the RSI. So INC looking like a boss there, and that is the incentive token for the PulseX V1 farms. Hex, of course, on the 4 hourly, pretty chill down at 42 here. And we had a nice big pump, like on all the charts here on Pulsechain. A big pump there. We're at 5,500th of a penny. Moving to the daily. Daily pretty chill on the RSI 43, and moving up pretty nicely there. We also bounced off the 61.8. So we talked about this the other day. It was like we were at the 38.2. And I go, oh man, if we hold here and we manage to consolidate here, wow, that's really powerful. We got to the 50, and I was like, oh, well, we got to the 50. At least that's something that we can bounce off there, because typically we go to the 61.8, and I didn't really want to go to 61.8. Now, only because it's even more powerful move from a higher level, but, 61.8 is pretty typical on the fib, and that's where we hit so far. So, so be it, and off to the races here. But in any case, Hex is such a super buy right now where it is. Pretty crazy. Now, that's the weekly chart. Let's get rid of the Fibonacci. That's the weekly chart at the moment. So yeah, we bounced all the way off, 4 weeks ago at 4,300 of a penny. We're now back at 5,500 of a penny. We've got the RSI pretty chill at 39. Lots of value in here. Lots of value underneath this orange line, which is 1 cent. So huge opportunity here for Hex. Let's go to EHEX. EHEX even more spectacular. I mean, people were picking it up at 1,100th of a penny on EHEX, and we're back up to just to 1,200 of a penny. So nice little gain there as well. Lots of move to the upside on the 4 hourly. Moving to the daily, you can see that move there. We have back at our previous support, now resistance. So we'll see how we get on, but certainly get dragged up with Pulse Hex once that decides to rally. But you're pretty much picking up EHEX at that's all low here. So really good pickup at the moment. This is on Pulsechain's chart, of course, not on the Ethereum chart for EHEX. Moving to the other currencies at the moment. Looking at the Hex derivatives, we've got Hedron on Ethereum is up 15.5%, so nice move there. Very light volume though, so take that into account, but that's a pretty good move. Trio is up 3%. Lucky is up 1.6%. Remember, Trio is the 3-year Hex mining pool. Lucky is the 7-year, and of course, Decky there, the 10-year is up slightly as well, 0.7%. So a little bit of gain there on Pulsechain for the Hex derivatives. Moving to stable coins, we've got LUSD. Speculative stable coin there, up 5.5%, so a nice little move up there. PDI is really down 6%. It's at 1,500th of a penny, but it is up 6% on the last 6 hours, but still down at 1,500 of a penny. Maybe a good entry there for that. Still speculative, but maybe that is a really good entry there for some mad gains. Influencer coins, let's go to that. The only one that's really up to date is Maddie Allen. It is up 17.4%. Up at $2.03 there for Maddie Allen. So let's have a quick look at that as the standout there for the influencer coins. $2.03 at the moment. Now, I do want to make a mention to Note Token from Randy Olasky. That is down 3% at the moment, sitting at 1,800th of a penny. But big news came out of there that Corey Costa is going to be doing some promotion and interviews there for the Randy Olaskis and No Permissions ecosystem. So nice little collab there. So a big shout out to Randy and Corey there on that one. It's nice to see those sort of combinations, and Randy's doing a pretty good job there trying to create value for his community. Big shout out. All right, that is that. Let's go over to the Pulsechain and have a look at the overall. So 14.3 million in volume. I think what we have yesterday, 15.5. So we're down slightly from there, but I mean it's not too bad. I mean it is a weekday. But we definitely want to get this back over 25 million. That'd be pretty furious on the, is that the right word? Furious on the old Pulsechain. 232,000 transactions. That's much better as well. And of course, looking at the top movers overall, PDC, the Greys continue to perform well. 8.42%. We have an interview with one of the team members from the Greys, and they're doing pretty well. The other token associated to them is UFO. That's up 6% as well. So they're doing pretty well. Definitely seems to be one of the best project ecosystems on Pulsechain. With the DAO and reflection token ecosystem doing pretty well. LUSD speculative, but it is up 5.5%. I think it's going to be a hard ask for them to get through that big burning that they had, that big ambitions burning, but they are burning more. So it's going to, I don't know, it just seems like it's going to take a lot longer. Maybe if Pulsechain picks up a lot more, it will accelerate quite a bit, but yeah, that's kind of where it is at the moment. That's pretty much it. We've got a few other little tokens around. Not going to necessarily read through those, but there's a few others there ticking away. All right, so that is on Pulsechain. Let's quickly look at the gas prices. Gas prices have been a bit high lately. Have you noticed that? You can see it in here. See how it's been elevated, but still relatively low, 400,000. But no, it has definitely been a bit elevated lately. You can see it in the chart. We've got 1/6 of a penny for a Pulsex swap, 400th of a penny for a Pulsecoin transfer, and 1/10 of a penny for a PSC20 transfer at the moment. Still well cheaper than Ethereum, right? 554 times Ethereum at the moment, only 3 Gwei, still low Gwei on Ethereum, 986 times cheaper than Bitcoin. So there we go. Let's jump over to the validators. And of course, this is another way of earning passive income. So we talk about the yield farms, which you're taking on a bit more risk, right? You've got impairment loss and things like that. But you could just go and buy 32 million Pulse right now with the price of Pulse down where it is, and set up a farm, or even more, a validator, or even multiple validators. So you could do that. And if you haven't got 32 million Pulse, it's still a bit too much for you. You could get some of the GG and NFTs, right? And I think, was it about 68 or something like that ballpark is equivalent to one full validator. You can do it that way. So that's a 1.56 trillion off the market through validating, ticking away pretty well. Now, if you want to get some hardware, you can go to David Feather and try and get some hardware from him if you want it preloaded. Bridging, the bridge at $98.2 million. So I think it's just slightly down 200K from yesterday, if I remember rightly. But the actual DAI is up. So this is good news. DAI is up at 29.2 million. So that's good news. And we're getting a bit of a recovery in Bitcoin. So it's probably up slightly. ETH is still down slightly. What we have, 1%. So a little bit of move there. I'm not sure whether we've had much movements on the Pulse alerts. I keep meaning to bring it up. I keep forgetting. And Coast was below peg. So that may be dragged down as well, although it does here appears to be pretty similar, but I'm pretty sure that was still down below. So that's pretty much it. And the EHEX there coming off the bottom, right? 11/10 of a penny. And now is at 1/1200th of a penny. So there we go. Did I say 11/10? 1/1200th of a penny. That is the play. So that's pretty much it. And of course, we've just started day 448 on Pulsechain. So lots of opportunities to DCA at the moment, picking up lots of cheap Richard Hart stuff, a lot of non-Richard Hart stuff. You can pick that up. And of course, also in meaning utilities, top influencer coins, things like that, things that you think that may be a leverage play on Pulsechain as well. And then, of course, we've got lots of passive income opportunities. And, of course, we've got a poll on the moment that we've listed that out. So let's see what people are doing on the poll. And let's see how that's going. We got 11 votes. Are you yield farming on the Pulsechain farms? We've got 90% on Pulsex. So congratulations to all of you. I think you must be doing very well on there with those yields that's consistently been up very high. SparkSwap is 9%. So that's really interesting. No one on 9-inch or 9M. Interesting stuff there as well. They are, number 2, number 3 biggest farms on Pulsechain. So SparkSwap, though, has been pretty popular. So probably not surprised there. 9% on that one. So cool little poll there. All right, that is that. Let's go to the Hex. Have a look at where Hex is at the moment. So we're going to scroll down. 703, is that the one? Yeah, 7. We're waiting for day 704. It's not out yet, so we might have to come back to Hex. Let's get into the chat, though, and say hello to a few other people. Let's see. Where are we going? Back up here. Let's Go Silver was the last comment, I'm pretty sure, from Wookie. What else there we got? Colton House there. What's up, all? Hey, Colt. Hope you're doing well. Pulsex is Hex incentive, and if that's right, you know it. CTO blockchain says Colt. Let's have a look here. A regular crypto investors, can you go over win-win? We have covered win-win before. I haven't actually checked out to see where they're up at the moment. Let me see if I've got that win-win finance to see what they've got there. Actually, I've got the old site. So what's that coming up? The old site's got the old warning on the. Let's see if I can find that. Let's see if I pull it up there. See if hopefully it renders. So yeah, I'll pull this up here, but I haven't fully looked at it. So this is just a quick review. I don't want to make comments that may not be fully correct. It says here that the APR is 28% at the moment on Win token. The loan token's got a 1.5 APR and a 25% on the USDL here on Win. Remember, this is a staking prize pool hybrid. So you give up some of your staking benefits for a global pool of rewards, kind of the idea, and multiple tokens, some of the top tier tokens. You can see here, I mean, the Richard Hart tokens, the utility tokens like Loan Token, Mintra, NFT Market, etc. So that's kind of the idea. So those are the yields at the moment. Now, I haven't really looked at that in much detail. The recent prices, $4.64, $13.41. I'm not sure. That doesn't look like what I would expect to see in terms of the prizes. You can enter, so I don't know what the participation's been like. I know the idea is a pretty good idea. Just haven't looked at much of the details there. Yeah, I don't know whether you connect to the wallet, whether it shows it a bit better. Total value lock, so 69,000 in there. So really, I don't know. It's got prizes one here at the moment. Unique users 160, so that's kind of the overview there. That's global. If you go to the win there, just use the filter here, you can go to the win. That will give you 146. A lot of people are in the actual win token, the main token for the platform. Let's go to, they had a sacrifice project, right? And it was run out of Australia by a guy that wasn't a developer, but he hired a developer team, that's if I remember rightly, for win-win. Yeah, not a lot of 3.19 million hex locked in there, TVL 17,000. Let's go to Mintra, have a quick look at that. So yeah, there's not nothing has gone in there, but it's not a lot has gone in here from what I can see. So still on the modest side, let's say. Let's be friendly about that. Loan token, let's say that 2 billion loan token, 4,300. So very, very small at the moment in terms of adoption so far. But it's early days. It might pick up. Let's go to Twitter. Have a quick look at Twitter and see what they've got around this. I mean, they've got 3,400 followers on it. They went live, of course, with the one token. It was back on the 13th of July, so it's been a little while since then. They've made requests on CoinGecko, etc. So it looks like they've had modest, very low, low to modest adoption. Let's be like that at the moment. So, but it's kind of where it is at the moment. So doesn't look like big prizes at this stage. Might have to do a bit more look at where the prizes frequency come out. All right, let's jump into that one. So good question though. We'll try and check that up on that again in the future. Wookie is in the USDT farm. It was 81% the other day for yield farming. Wow, that's fantastic, Wookie. So yeah, some people are earning really nice yields in those Pulsechain farms. What is shaking Hexkins? Is check my pulse. What else there? We got Sandy says DCA for the win. Yeah, dollar cost averaging for the win, especially where the prices are at the moment on the Pulsechain. Such wonderful entries for a lot of those pro tokens. Even if you just want to lower your average or just build up your bag of volume, now is the time to do it, right? Now is the time to do it. The future is looking so bullish for crypto, particularly October onwards. It's looking mega, mega bullish. So yeah, still hustling, DCAing, hodling, accumulating, buying dollar bills for 0.5 cent, feeling blessed. I like that perspective. Isn't that great? Buying dollar bills for 0.5 cent, feeling blessed. That is such a good way to finish the live stream. That is epic. But before we do that, though, we have to get into Hex and talk about the results. So let's do the Hex day for Pulsechain. And of course, what did we say today? We say it was 440. What was it? 445 was it? I think it was 446. Let's double check just to be accurate. 447. I got it wrong every time I said 447, which is day 1704 on Ethereum. 1st of August. So yeah, new period of season, new season. 3.286 hex per T-share is the reward today for Hexkins. Not as good as yesterday. We're at 3.639. And I notice there's some doubling up going on here. I don't know why. That's something to do with the way they're pulling data in. But 10.286 is the results. And what else? T-shares are up 3,289, so that's good news. 9,182,000 T-shares on the old Pulsechain. And the rewards going to those T-share holders. Oh, wow, 3 million in penalties. Look at all these penalties. We had 9.4 million, then 5.5. So yeah, good time to be on Pulsechain with the penalties with your hex mining. Almost 67 million in the reward pool there going to T-share holders in the ownership pool. Change holders up 41 liquid, down 21 miners, seeing 123,264 miners on the old Pulsechain side as well. It's just this stuff's all been added, isn't it? This incentive token, these columns are all relatively new. Well, I don't know how long they've been there, but I don't normally commentate on them. But that's pretty much it. That is Hex, hex.com. Check it out. Mine Hex on Ethereum and Pulsechain. That's the way to go. All right, day 448. Can you believe it? Crazy. All right, bam. There we go. Sandy Beach says win-win sacrifice gave a bonus if you used MCR of 0.369. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, but they haven't so far. I don't know. They're not doing a lot of marketing, Sandy, and even on their Twitter account. not doing a lot of marketing. I mean, they've had some money going there, but it's not a super duper amount. And those recent prizes, if that screen's correct, $15, it's not going to incite people. I thought it's a good idea. So people willing to give a bit of the yield to do it, but once again, it's just not the climate there, right? And the best thing that people are doing probably at the moment is accumulating, DCAing and passive income, probably much better options. Penalties are going to be big, says Sandy. Penalties of penalty. You mean penalties when people end their stakes early and it goes into the reward pool? That's what you're referring to on the win-win, probably. So yeah, massive passive income yields on Pulsechain, just incredible. Some of the other farms too doing pretty well, and just ability to pick up the rich heart tokens and other cool tokens at the moment is so good. So enjoy those volume pickups in this extended long pickup time. All right, we're going to end it there, and you never know, Magic Carp ride could be coming down the pipeline sooner than later, maybe towards the 22nd of August, maybe. Who knows? Let's see what happens there with the Magic Carp ride. All right, let's go here. Magic Carp ride, let's go. Peace out, everybody. Take care. Subscribe, like, share, hit the bell. See you in Discord. Links in the video description to join up, and I'll catch you again tomorrow for the next session, which will be the last day of the stock market because they're only open 5 days a week. All right, take care, everybody. Enjoy yourself, and hashtag Pulsechain for the win. Take care. Bye for now.
In theory, if someone were a billionaire and they had like all this money, why wouldn't they just buy more of the thing they liked instead of dumping the thing they liked? Like if Bezos bought shares in Amazon, would you be pissed off? If Apple does a stock buyback and they buy more of their own shares in their company back from the public, which is a way to turn earnings into yield for the shareholders, do you get mad and yell at Apple? And so we had to come up with a word for this fan fiction fantasy, which is the opposite of a rug pull, called a magic carpet ride. And so if you're worried about risk of a rug pull, what weighted value have you given the risk of a magic carpet ride? And it's just hilarious to me.